Hey everyone, we're going to be starting pretty soon. Yo, 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 let me know if you can hear me. I think, okay. Yo. Alright. I don't have my lights on in the back, but that should be okay for now. And then, maybe we can put these here. So, I'm a little all over the place. Should you have audio? I hope so. Is it coming in? Let me know if the audio is coming in. If you can hear me. Yeah, I think things are good. If it's a little quiet, maybe I can turn up my gain. Okay, maybe that's better. Let me know for sure. And then let me get the rest of the chats up too, just so we can see everything. So we're going to go live on Instagram. Did that work? Maybe it didn't work for Instagram. It's a little quiet. Yo, what's up? Can you hear me now? Okay, perfect. Okay, maybe it looks like TikTok's working. Doesn't look like Instagram's working. I guess that's okay. We just won't have Instagram today. We can. That simplifies a little bit of things. Let me get the chat up for. Hold on. Okay, we got Twitch chat. We got TikTok chat. Is this pre-recorded? No, this is not pre-recorded. We are live on Twitch, TikTok, and YouTube. What time are we starting to fold? Probably that might be the last thing we do. So let me show you what the plan for today is. We have today's stream menu, basically. So it's you. Yeah, it is me. It is me. So I should be able to read chat from all three platforms at the same time. It's pretty late in the morning, so the context is basically I've been at a martial arts event that my local community has been hosting, and I've actually been helping plan for it, so I had to do quite a few things. I don't think I have any videos of myself doing it right now, but maybe I can find really quick from my Instagram story. Okay, let's move this to the side, and then I'll go over our menu. Sorry. All right, so I don't know if the how many people can see this on TikTok, but right, so that's me. I was competing a little bit, so that's pretty fun. So yeah, I do a lot of flips. If you've seen my videos, you know I do flips from time to time. So it was like a little style battle. That's pretty fun. But man, I am tired. And then that was going on from like 3 in the afternoon all the way till midnight, basically. And now we're here. So now we're pivoting over to origami a little bit. But yeah, that's kind of lit. All right. So what are we doing today, though? Because I did want to stream. Last week, I was at the origami convention in New York, and I did like a very short exhibition stream. So if you guys watch that, or it's still recorded. So if you want a little sneak preview before the full convention vlog, I basically do a walkthrough of all the tables there. So that's pretty cool. But today we're going to be taking a look at not only some of that, but a lot of the different photos and footage I have from the convention. And I want to go over it a little bit earlier before I start editing the convention video. just because that video is going to take some time to make. And while it's fresh, I just want to share it with you all. I think it'll be pretty fun to check out, and you can kind of see what kind of vibe an origami convention brings. I bet you're tired. Yeah, just a little bit. So, on our menu today, we're going to start off with the Origami Dan review. We're going to keep it short. I think I'm just going to go through a few Hall of Fame folds just to kind of get us warmed up. And then we're going to jump into the review. I'm going to make sure it's working, actually. And then from there, we're going to maybe, if I have time, work on a new design. So I have made this guy, and this base is actually very similar to the sword and shield, but this time instead of a shield, I allocated the space just for a sword. So the grid, it's actually 28. The sword and shield was a 24 grid, but kind of using similar proportions, a little bit of a different structure, and we're going to see what we can make. And even though the helmet still technically has that same structure, I'm going to try to make it look different at least. And yeah, just kind of experiment and see what I can get from this sort of thing. There's this very specific pose I want to try to shape for, but we'll get to that at the end. I was lucky enough to catch you live. Yeah, this is the less common time zone that I stream in. So yeah, thanks for those waking up early. I think Dex, you're probably up early for this, but it's good stuff. When will I hit 20K? That's up to y'all, man. I'll just keep posting videos. I'm gonna try to hit 20K soon. I'm estimated by around August, sometime around August. But I think if I post some more videos, then we'll get there a little bit sooner. We'll just kind of have to see. The most recent short that I did with Plant is doing pretty good. If you haven't seen that, y'all should definitely check it out. It's really cool. I'll give like a little teaser here. But yeah, no, I mean, if you want me to hit 20K faster, like, share, and subscribe. It all helps. So on Instagram right now, it's got 120,000 views, which is kind of crazy, but I won't play it with the audio for now. We got subtitles, so you can still kind of see. But I mean, yeah, check out the content if you guys like it. Definitely try sharing it. That'll be pretty cool. But this one was really fun. You should listen to audio. The DAP was really good. So, I mean, it's good stuff. Like, a lot of fun. Very busy, but we're good. What time is it right now? It's 2 in the morning. Right? Saturday, 2 a.m. You and Plant have twin short videos. That's right. That's right. Yeah, so YouTube doesn't have like the collaboration option that Instagram has, so we just both posted it and was like, we'll hope for the best, double the views. And then I think if YouTube catches like, oh, this is the same video as each other, obviously we won't copyright each other. For us, it's 3 p.m. Nice. Yeah, I think India is 12 and a half hours ahead of me, right? So this is pretty good. And I think for Europe, people should start waking up in a few hours as well. So yeah. Yeah, exactly. 2:40 in the afternoon. That's a perfect timing. That's pretty sweet. Yeah, it's nice when I can stream at this time. It's just not every week I can. Because if I have something in the morning, obviously it's not the greatest to stream at 2 in the morning. Okay, let me also take that away. We don't need that anymore. And then let me check on my screen share thing. I think let me enter studio mode. I hope this doesn't break stuff. That breaks stuff. Okay, maybe we're not gonna go to studio mode. Okay, so Oriedit pops up. It's a little bit weird on the mobile layout, so let's fix that, and then I think we'll be able to fix everything else for my screen share. All right, we have that, and then we have window capture, and this should go to Discord for now. Here we go. All right, so the last thing I want to say before we start this stream. Oh, in Bangladesh. I see. Nice. This is a new feature of the OBB membership. So if you are a Twitch sub or if you are a YouTube member, we're going to be doing an origami review every month of your posts. So this is the special Discord server that you get to join if you're a member. And from here, basically once a month, we'll accumulate some posts. If you want some, constructive criticism, or you just want me to see your fold, basically you can put your photo here and then write a message about, maybe what do you want me to do? Do you want me to just check it out? Do you want me to give some critique? All that sort of stuff. And yeah, again, it's like probably just like one post per person per month. And then at the end of the month, we'll go through all of the posts, and it'll kind of be a stream where instead of me looking at Origami Dan, I'm just going through the members. So I think that'll be a pretty fun and engaging segment that we can do. And also it brings value to all of you because you get to, share your folds, not just to me, but to the stream. And then just kind of get a live reaction or even some advice on your folds. So if that interests you, and or if you're watching later from the VOD and want to join a membership, I think it's a pretty good deal. It's going to be fun for me to check out your fold, and it's going to be really awesome for you if you need advice or just want to see some fun of having your fold on stream, which will basically be permanently on my channel anyways. So if that interests you, just letting y'all know. I think I'm going to convert this specific channel into a post channel. It'll be a little bit easier instead of a text channel. But let's hop on over to Origami Dan. And I know there's been a lot of really cool folds, but we're just going to check out probably Hall of Fame for a little bit and maybe Starboard, just like we normally do, really quickly, because I kind of want to dive into the meat of the content for today. But yeah, if anyone has questions about that, just let me know down in the comments and we shall see. Looks like we have a bot on Twitch. It's very interesting. We don't get very many bots on YouTube. We get a lot of bots on Twitch. Alrighty. Let's see here. All right, so the first fold we have in Hall of Fame. This is by Lee Yu, and this is his Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon model. So this is a model from Yu-Gi-Oh! And I think he also has a Blue Eyes White Dragon or some kind of Blue Eyes design. Name.you.afk, hello, hey, welcome to the stream. We're checking out some origami, and then I'm gonna share my experience at the origami convention. But yeah, thanks for tuning in. This is a really cool fold. So yeah, Lee Yu, I think he's got like a 1-head version of this design, and then this specific one I guess is the 3-head version. So I'm not too familiar with Yu-Gi-Oh! I know what the Blue Eyes White Dragon is, but regardless, even if you just think of it as like a 3-headed dragon, it's really cool because you get the teeth details, you get the eyes, and you even get like a little bit of the dragon tongue. Yeah, really crazy model. I don't think this photo captures all the details. I think if we had it zoomed out a little bit, we'd be able to see more of the form of the dragon, but very, very cool. Okay, we have a video. We're going to skip that for now. Okay, Kota. Unfortunately, it looks like maybe this tweet was deleted, so we can't see that either. Okay, that's from Death Battle, so we saw that already. Let's go to Starboard. I think there's been some other cool stuff. Oh yeah, here is okay, we'll go a little bit out of order. This is a collab between YSK Origami and Louis Bobby, and I think they collaborated to fold and design a Gundam model. So you guys know recently I did Sam, which is kind of a mech, but of course the classic mecha type thing is Gundam. And there's a few Gundam origami out there, but you know, it has its own innate challenges, and this one's really cool. So there's just like a lot of like robotic and geometric type things that really make a Gundam look like a Gundam, and that often that's hard to shape in paper, but in this case it's working out. I always think it's really cool. I think a lot of times in Gundam they're piloting from the chest, so there's like a little door or something, and it looks really cool. But yeah, they captured all the details there. It's, yeah, pretty sweet. Good morning. Yeah, good morning, man. Good morning. Is that Guillermo? I think that is. Good morning, man. Good to see you. Thanks for joining the stream. This is the classic late night voice stream or early morning stream. The details are amazing. That's very true. Sold Monk, hello. Okay, so that's really cool. Let's check out just a few more. We've got some masks from Arches. That's really neat. It's kind of a creative. So we have like half a face with a bunch of eyes. I got a wet folded rabbit face. That's pretty cool. Yeah, simple origami. This is a 2D flat fold. It's really cute. I think it's like a Hachiko dog or something like that. Really nice. Even has the tongue sticking out. This is a very clever design. Cutely folded. Oh, speaking of Sam, the Stallion Hunter. Hey, this is someone folded it. Isn't that great? There's only a crease pattern right now, and I gotta say the crease pattern is not the easiest to fold and then shape, because there's like some details missing based on the structure of the model, but maybe they were able to tell what I did in the shaping from my video. So who knows, but this is very cool. Thank you for folding it. And speaking of which, I have my Sam model here. I still kind of have to unpack from my convention a bit. So Sam is still in its box. So we can take out. Isn't this cool? This is a very like custom box. Nice and easy. And then actually I had, I don't think I showed this on stream, but this specific box had a notch in it that I created so that my rooted design can actually like hook into it, and it acts as a display stand for that model and Sam. So Sam can be on top and be displayed. When I go through the photos of my exhibition, you'll probably see how that's done. But yeah, here we have Sam. Now, one small thing. This model used to not have any glue in it, but unfortunately I had to add some because the model got damaged at the convention. So the room that the exhibition was in had, like, for some reason, a lot of moisture. I don't know. It's probably like their air conditioning system or something like that, but it was a combination of being super cold, super moist, and then the fans blowing really strong at my models. And it caused this model to like fall over, and the legs got crumpled. So very quickly I had to get some emergency glue and like reinforce all the paper layers just so that it could stand up again. So really sad, because I think it was cool that there wasn't any glue used to shape. It was just wet folded with methyl cellulose. But hey, when it breaks, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. Nature wins, right? So you got to fight the elements a little bit, and you know, it's not much glue. It's just to structure their legs and basically like perform surgery on the model so that I can stand up again. But I remember that from my previous live. Yeah. So this is what it looks like. I have the video on how I made it. Now there's like no tutorial. I've seen some people ask for it, but I have to probably worry about the 20,000 subscriber tutorial first before we get to this. But a tutorial for this model, it'd probably be pretty hard, man. Like, there's a lot of shaping to it. So folding the base is one thing, but man, shaping is kind of crazy, and it's kind of hard to like, you can't really break it down into a set sequence. But very cool model. So who knows? This one's probably on the back burner for a while, but if I find or think of a way to fold it, then maybe a tutorial. But I think, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, Dex, seeing some of your models in person was really cool. Hey, seeing some of your models in person, Dex, was really cool. Speaking of seeing Dex, I think your fold should be in here. Let me try to find it. Oh, this is super cute. By the way, yeah, if me and Brandon, I showed that short earlier. This is Brandon Wong. He's been killing it in the content game. In his recent posts, he made twin hand-holding otters. It's so cute, right? So check out that video. Give it a lot of love. Yeah, Brandon is cooking. It's good stuff. Good stuff. Okay, we got a Bodo sheep. That's super cool. I think Dex, your fold is probably up higher. Here we go. So Dex made an alien queen. We have some photos here. So if you're not familiar with the Aliens series, then Alien Queen skeleton, not just Alien Queen. This is here, let's just go to the post. Xenomorph Queen skeleton from the Aliens series. Yeah, this is absolutely crazy. So Dex has really been leveling up, just in terms of design skills and shaping. So this is like much practice with packing and also like figuring out how skeletons work and just kind of executing it better than his previous ones. And it was cool to see this at the Origami USA convention. This box right here, right? That's this box, right? So we kind of took some photos. It's good stuff. A lot of details. So you're gonna see a lot from Dex in the coming, year. I think Dex is really on the path for leveling up and making some cool designs. So, hey, stay tuned on Dex. Really cool, right? High humidity. The AC blowing a lot of water and flopping all the... Yeah, it is rough. Rough for origami, right? Okay, but yeah, so that was super cool. Okay, I think that's going to be it for Starboard. We can start jumping into, checking out some of this convention photos. And if you want to see this yourself, like there's tons more amazing folds that I'm not going to be able to cover, like JSL. Yeah, hop into Discord yourself. This is Origami Dan. You can DM me for an invite. I don't think any of my mods are awake right now, so they can't drop a link in for me, but that's all right. All right, so let me set up. Where did Orietta go? Is it here? There you go. All right, you can look at that for now. This is the crease pattern for the new design I was working on. So very, very similar to the Sword and Shield. And then let me change this window to some photos. And let's see here. How do I want to do this? I think I can go here and then photos, pictures. There we go. Okay, so we're just gonna start from the front maybe, and then make our way through the convention, so that I can just do this window capture properly. Let me see if I can do that, and then we can check this. What is called like photos? OBS. Okay, I think here we go. There we go. Yo, hey, how are you? I'm doing pretty good. I'm chilling. I'm a little tired. It's pretty late at night, but I am excited to show everyone just some of the fun things that happened at the origami convention. Um, Complex origami models. Hey, how are you doing? Glad you can make the stream. Solmux says, is it even possible to fold a complex model with only crease pattern? Yeah, it is. So eventually, once you get good at shaping, you kind of develop a skill of reverse engineering. So that's like being able to tell what a designer has done, either folding wise or shaping wise. But normally shaping wise, if you have the crease pattern, so that after you get to the base, you basically know what to do on your own to make it look like what the model is supposed to be. So a lot of people they can fold the crease pattern but get stuck on where to go from there. You kind of just have to try. So you know it's a little bit of a shot in the dark at times, but the way you learn that is just by trying. So you can look at references, you can look at photos. It doesn't have to be exactly the same as the original, but you want to practice, applying folds, doing your own thing to try to make it look like the model it's supposed to be. Whether that's either original fold or if it's, say, like an animal, you make it look like an animal reference. So, if you're curious on shaping, I think my videos on the IOIO series is really good at how I kind of approach shaping, because a lot of those I shaped differently than what the original author had made, because that was the competition. I have to get creative. I have to do my own thing, even with my own designs, right? I'm inventing it basically on the spot. So yeah, definitely possible to, it's very normal to be able to eventually fold and shape just from crease patterns. Like no problem. Like once you kind of get there, it makes sense. When you're not there yet, it probably looks crazy and insane, which is okay. Like don't worry if you're not there yet, but just keep practicing and don't let it stop you, and you'll get there. I'm taking your class about crease patterns on YouTube. Thank you very much for making it. I'm learning from you. Oh, hey, thanks, man. I'm glad it helps. Thank you for watching. And yeah, I hope you're able to keep practicing those crease pattern skills. I'm from Argentina and I follow you. Hey, shout out to Argentina. Let's go. Boys, can you add me or a link Discord? I think you told me you were not age 13 yet, so you can't join the Discord unless you're age 13 or older. So not yet. But I think you told me you were 11, right? So wait 2 years and then you can come join. All right. So first up, we have a picture of Francesco Mancini. So he is one of our special guests at the Origami USA convention. We always have at least 2 special guests. And so he is from Italy, and his kind of style is more geometric. So whether that's modulars or math related, thematic math folds. So there's some recursion color change models that are super, super cool. There's like a saddle point, which is like a hyper something paraboloid. I don't know too much math, right? But very cool. I am not quite a geometric folder, but I really appreciated the visual aesthetic of all of Francesco's designs. And so he has like this table over here. This is Francesco himself, from Italy, of course. And I had to get a photo of him. We're going to see some more photos probably as we go on of, his actual display. So like here's some modulars, some kusudama, right? And each one has some sort of theme. So, there's little descriptions of what they are. And then if you get to talk to him, he can probably explain it more. Again, I'm not a big math person, so I don't really know what any of this stuff means, but hey, it looks cool, right? So yeah, this one is Aiko Sido. So I guess, and it has 12 pentagons, and that's like the kind of thing. So a lot of cool stuff like that. This is just the wall, I guess. I don't know. I think I accidentally took photos. Okay. Next we have Pascal. So Pascal was at the 2022 convention. Didn't see him last year, but he came back with some really cool models. He's finishing up his PhD. So I think we'll get into more, but this is like an office chair, a paper shredder. There's a lot of like whole house items, just very unique. And then over here, we're setting up origami by children. So this is folds from people who are age under 18. And a lot of them were like 12, 13, 14. And this year, a theme that I noticed was that the level is getting better, man. Like there's 12-year-olds designing complex subjects. There's 14-year-olds shaping really, really well. So the skill level of origami at younger ages is increasing a lot. And that's really important because they're setting the stage for the next generation of origami folders. I wasn't doing any of this when I was their age, right? So I have closer up images later. Here we have another friend. This is Jackson. He set up his exhibition. He's got a variety of models from like a folder. I think this is an ancient dragon. And then just some cranes and some other turtles. Just a nice spread of very cool and nicely shaped models. Complex origami models. I am 16. Nah, yeah, I don't believe that, man. You told me something way different earlier. Sorry, bro. Very grateful for the video classes. Hey, I'm glad to provide. Thank you. Yeah, I'm glad you guys like him. Dex, Mancini's models are so cool. Yeah, agreed. Super, super cool. There is so much variety. Indeed. Here we have Dex's exhibition. And again, you can see these skeletons, right? So I especially like these two skeletons, the xenomorph and the, what is this? Some kind of bird, right? The bird name is escaping me. But these two skeletons are like really well rendered. The shaping is nice, and structurally you can kind of see all the bones. Then we have some of Dex's humanoid models, which some were present in the Origami Day and Death Battle. So, really cool by Dex. Dex is just exploring a lot of different subjects. Really complex stuff. Really cool to see. I think I have close-ups later, but I just took a broad picture here. Here we can see like a different angle. There's some flies. Yeah, there's some crazy box plate madness. Yeah, here's the Xenomorph Queen skeleton. So look at this. 1.5 weeks to design and fold. This was a speed run, and then 120 centimeter tracing paper. Very nice. Some other Dex designs. We'll go through them. There's Turtle. This is by Jackson. So I was kind of like walking around at this point, I think, just like randomly taking photos. Okay, here we have our second special guest. So this guest was from China. His name is Pei. Pei Haocheng. I might be pronouncing his last name wrong, but Pei. Really fun to hang out with Pei and get to meet. Pei's pretty young, probably around my age. And, you know, really enthusiastic about origami. And this is like one of his signature pieces. It's a deer with over 100 origami flowers naturally color changed into the antlers. So it has like a Guinness certificate because there's, you know, you can set it as the most flowers on one origami piece. But the deer itself is really nicely shaped. And hearing from Pei, this model is made with a 3-meter paper. 3 meters. That's super big, man. You know, I've made things from like 3.4 meters, so I know what it's like. It's so hard to fold with that size of paper. It's actually crazy. So really cool. Here's another model by Pei. This is a sailboat. It's actually relatively simple. You know, it's a box plate asymmetric design. Really, really cool sailboat. I actually took that class in a little bit. So for what the design is, I think it's a nicely designed and elegant model. Here's some other things. So Pei, he does a lot of like big arts. So here is the snail design, and then he made a gigantic one from I think it was a 10-meter paper. So all right, 3-meter was crazy, right? This is 10-meter. Actually ridiculous. Dodo skeleton needs to be wet shaped a lot. Yeah, true. All my humanoids are kind of hey, you can't say that yet, Dex. You just got to keep improving, you know, one step. And then once you start having better ones, then you can call the old ones trash. But don't call them trash yet, you know. You keep improving. It'll be the Dex of yesterday versus the Dex of today. Skeletons require lots of shaping. Yeah, very true, very true. So yeah, here's Pei. This is a brick tessellation. This is actually a very traditional one, but it's kind of featuring the paper. And these are actually not paper, they're plastic. So it's kind of, it looks like paper, but it's plastic. So it got some creases in it. And honestly, even talking with Pei, it's a pain to fold. Okay, so here is the opening ceremony for the convention. So you can see there is a pretty good turnout this year. Yeah, all these tables were filled. Right now, Francesco is teaching. He's teaching like kind of a simple model just to start off the convention to everybody. So it's really fun. You can see people sitting at the tables, oftentimes meeting new folders for the first time. And yeah, it's cool to see so many people who like origami, you know? Okay, I fixed the white balance here. So you can tell my camera was really orange in this, but now it changed to more of a cooler, and this is like just a lighting issue in the convention, but I think from here on out I fixed the lighting, so it's gonna look a lot better. So I took some more wide angle shots of people folding. Oh, here's what Francesco Mancini taught. This is like a heart with the Origami USA sailboat in the middle, so that's really cool. That's just like kind of an homage to Lillian Oppenheimer and fitting for the theme. Yeah, real fun. Here we have Pei up next teaching one of his models. And yeah, so the teacher is always just a special guest. They get to teach everybody just a simple model to start off the convention. It's just a nice way, right? What better way to start an origami convention than to fold? Yeah, just kind of capturing the whole vibe. It's a nice ballroom in the hotel. Just like a bunch of people, hundreds of origami folders all at once. And so here's the result of what Pei taught. It's a flower and it's got like color change parts in the center. Hao Chung really enjoys combining different techniques such as irregular box plate and 15 degrees. Genius. True, yeah. Pei will mix angles at random. So like a lot of my designs, right, they're just pure box plate, and then if I try to do non-box plate, it'll either be like 22.5 or basically something designed from a traditional base. Pei might mix it and it won't be 22.5, it might be at 15-degree angle or whatever angle works for what he's making, and the grid itself could be anything as well. It might not even just be a regular grid. So yeah, lots of cool stuff just from the opening. Here we have Chris. Y'all know Chris, right? So Chris, he has a really nice fold of his peacock. So had to get a photo of it as he was setting it up, because he's showing that as the model that he's going to teach. All right, more stuff from Pei. Yep, there's Pei with the deer. So you can kind of see this deer is pretty big, but it has shrunk down quite a lot from 3 meters. Yeah, really fun. And then speaking of Chris, of course, we're doing a collaboration. So we had to get a photo of, you know, the start. So we folded the grid and we pre-creased the model. And sorry to say, I don't have actually too many progress photos of this. You might have seen them on Instagram if you were watching at the time. But with this giant paper, we did create a collaboration. Now, it wasn't fully finished at the end, but I finished my portion, and then right now Chris has it. So he's going to finish his portion. This time around, Chris was really busy. He's competing in the Origami Daring Death Battle, which we've been reviewing. And he's got a tough opponent right now, which is Odyssey. And speaking of Odyssey, I've collected another Odyssey model. So for around $100 only, I was able to collect another one. So yeah, very cool. Super happy to add this to my collection, and honestly, like way cheaper than it should be. I would pay a lot more for this. But Chris is battling him, so yeah, it might be some time before we see the finished collab, but I think by the time I finish editing the convention vlog, we'll be able to release it and show everyone. what we made. It's really cool. There might be like some progress photos through here, but yeah, we'll have to see. All right, so here we're starting to get to the exhibition. So this is part of mine. This is my sword and shield dude. Now the lighting was like really weird in this spot because one of the bulbs were out, and then I tried to have like light to be able to show the face, but it wasn't working too well. But that's kind of okay. Here's just kind of the short little or a close-up angle of some of the pieces. Here you can see the rooted model that's attached to this stand. And once again, the moisture, like I had these stands and the paper attached to the surface was pretty clean, but because of all the moisture, all of it's warped. So you can kind of see how it's, yeah, it is a mess. I did not account for that part of the weather when I was planning. Thankfully, my other models were just okay. They stayed safe. But like all my display stands and then the Sam model got pretty damaged. I think in the live stream, you can see how damaged the Sam model was. But of course, some of the models I featured this year, head empty. Classic. You know, still my favorite design I've made. Did he need wire to support the antlers? I don't know, actually. I didn't ask, but there's definitely a lot of glue. Danush Prad says, hi, boys. Hey, thanks for joining the stream. Yeah, thanks for tuning in. Here I have head empty. Okay. Also in their own box. They survived. They are actually very sturdy on this display stand. So I didn't have problems here. And the paper on their display stand didn't warp because I think it was, you know, applied tight enough that it's all good to go. The only thing is, I think the arm might need some more MC. I think the moisture caused it to lean out a little bit. Normally the box is a little bit closer to the hand, but I think the hand started to droop. So I might have to fix that a little bit, but hopefully not too much. Yeah, they're still looking pretty good after a whole year of traveling around. So this is their second Origami USA convention. So it's over a year old. And in total, they've traveled to, I think, 4 conventions now. All right, I'm going to blow my nose really quick because I'm starting to get some allergies. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. All right, you need to make little tags for your models with the estimated value and the date of the estimate. I think if I displayed the estimate cost at the convention, I would scare people. So we are actually allowed to sell models, but yeah, I think the amount I sell for is it's gonna make people more upset than actually trying to find a buyer. You know, I might be able to find a buyer at this convention, but again, I talked a little bit about this in my collection review, but the key thing for selling models at the value I want to is targeting the right audience. So, you know, people attending the convention are not really the people who are going to buy origami at that cost. It's the, you know, you want to find art collectors, and art collectors generally will seek out galleries that have, art, what do you call it? Curators, right? So they'll go to the curators to bring them art, and then therefore, and they'll be ready to provide the value to, claim the art. Actually, had someone, they really wanted to buy the DPA Sword and Shield until I told them what I had sold a regular assassin for and what I would kind of be okay with parting, even at a discount. Yeah, I don't think they were expecting anywhere close to that originally, but hey, that's what I would be willing to part with. So, the other thing I brought were the box heads. These are big heads that I designed for Ebok. And I think together, just like, I don't know, there's some sort of vibe that is kind of cool. So that's kind of the whole, theme of some of my exhibition, was just kind of getting the vibe with those empty heads and the plain faces and the box heads. Next up is Chris. I actually was right next to Chris at the exhibition. So this is the collab from last year, which this is my first time seeing it completed in person, because Bodo and Chris both worked on it after I had already left. So this is the more completed version. Yeah, if you haven't seen the last convention vlog, you should check it out before you watch the one coming out soon. Just because, like, man, it's super, super cool. Yeah, it's a fun story, and then I even show like the resemblance of the before and after picture. Yeah, a lot of fun. But Chris has also been leveling up a ton. Keep your eye on Chris. I'm sure many of you have been watching Chris for a few years. But yeah, Chris continues to cook, as I like to say. Really fantastic designs. Some cool stuff to see in person, like the Shiva design that we reviewed during his death battle. Yeah, really neat. Here we have Brian Chan's exhibition. This is a sequence of a grasshopper flying. Right, so Brian Chan, amazing at insects, and knows a lot about insect anatomy because he also does some macro photography of insects. So if you're gonna think of an insect, kind of master, Brian's kind of up there. And this is where actually I need to take notes. So one thing, me and Chris have improved our presentation, right? So if you notice, Chris, he also has an elevated stands, but his stands are like, let me show you. Just like by no means bad. Like it's definitely an improvement. It looks, way different than even most other people's exhibitions that just put things on the table. But he's got basically elevated tubes of paper and then like a little wood slice on top. And the tubes are just paper, right? So nothing too crazy. And then on mine, I have the traveling boxes. But then like covered with paper, and like you can kind of see where the paper was unsticking from the boxes, mostly because of the humidity and moisture. It just like ruined in the surface and made it look really messy. Like you can even see like right here how messy this looks. So they're elevated, but it's messy. Chris, his is more clean, but they're, a little bit, I don't know. This is just like a tube with a wood slice. Maybe not the most professional looking stand, but Brian, on the other hand, is just, this is so next level, man. These boxes are insane. So the boxes for the origami, underneath, so these are lids, and like this lid can fit, I think this one's actually for a different box, but this one fits the covering for this box perfectly. And then inside of the big box, he has special cutouts to be able to fit all three grasshoppers snug. So you saw how, in my boxes, like mine were able to travel very snug to the display stand. Brian's is snug to the grasshopper, which is way harder to do because each one is customized. And then not only that, is you see these up here on these boxes. So these are the crease patterns for each model. Now we can't really see that here, but those crease patterns are laser etched onto like a piece of acrylic, and those have a slot underneath the lid. So they fit underneath the lid. And again, they all fit snug. And then each one of these boxes fit inside the other box. So like the whole thing is so well thought out, and the surfaces and textures are clean. Like this box is really clean. These ones have these really cool like indent texture things. It just looks great. It just looks professional. It's clean and it's super functional. So that's like, man, I'm taking notes from Brian. Yeah, crazy. This is what I aspire my presentation skills to be like for origami. I think putting price tags in there might be a little tacky. Yeah, exactly. It kind of would change the vibe of the exhibition. You know, it's an exhibition, not a gallery. So different kind of vibe. Would still be nice for your own memory and possibly insurance. Again, not for this event. I do have the dates it's designed, so I could add the date that's designed. I just wouldn't add the price. But the date it's designed, it's all on my website as well, that the crease patterns are there. And even if it's not on my website, I have it timestamped for when I created the crease pattern in the file. And I have like a GitHub just for that. So I can track all of it. So I won't forget there. Here we can see the crease patterns. Crazy, right? 3 different crease patterns, 3 different models of the same subject. Yeah, Brian also had a cicada color change. Really cool. And then cicada with the flying. And then just some other animals. Okay, more pay stuff. I think I'm going to go quickly through these exhibition photos. Because I showed basically the special guests in like this room, which is a lot of heavy hitters. So some cool stuff. We can always check that out later. There's some really neat stuff that people brought. A lot of variety. I'll do a quick skim. I'll do like a nice edit later on. Here's Matt Laboon. Shout out Matt. We actually taught a class together. Matt is making his own paper. So I have to say, like, Matt's paper is probably the best paper for origami being made in the world at this current moment. Why, might you ask? So for one, things like origami dough have kind of slowed down in production. Ogami, it's still being in production, but the people who make ogami aren't necessarily complex origami folders, or not super complex origami folders. On the other hand, Matt is a super complex origami folder and designer, and he's making his own paper. So he makes cabbage paper, and it's not made out of cabbage. That's just his name, his nickname. And it's used for these insects. These ones are his designs. Like, just look at the color change, right? And a lot of times from the way he makes the paper, you can get this stark of color change because you're not, the dyes he's using are very strong, so they won't bleed. It's not like when you make tissue paper where the colors will go through each other. Here it's just fibers bonding to each other that are already pigmented. So you don't necessarily have that, downfall. It's like you can see really the white stark here. And I think, there is some other white stuff, maybe layered to make it like this, where maybe in just the color change areas, it's a little bit thicker of white. But it speaks for itself, right? Super clean. So shout out to Matt and Cabbage Paper. I'll be talking more about it in probably a video. But we'll keep going. This is Daniel Leskes. Really neat. He had a raised stand too. This one spun, and Daniel made it himself the day before. So another like note in my head of things I can do for presentation. Okay, other cool stuff. Yeah, I'll get to this at a different time. Here we have our first set of classes. So Pei taught his sailboat. That's the sailboat we saw in the exhibition. Really cool. Nicely taught. He made paper, or he had paper that he stained with coffee, and that's what he taught it with. That's kind of cool. It's kind of overall fun class. You can kind of see how it's coming along, and this is the finished class. And this was one of the most highly requested classes actually. People really wanted to take the sailboat, and I can see why. It's just very visually appealing. So yeah, super cool. I like the Shiva model a lot. Yeah, Chris's Shiva model is it's insane. How smart. True. True. Okay, here we have Pei and Neil. So Neil, you might have recognized him from the the Peacock convention in November. So he's West Coast, but he won the scholarship for coming to this convention. So there are scholarships, and this time there were 3 scholarship winners to come to the convention, which gets it paid for. Your family can fly out. It's for folders under the age of 18. We actually had a scholarship winner from India last year. You might have seen him in the interviews. And you might be wondering, okay, boys, how do I win a scholarship? I'm pretty good at folding. Do I just need to submit that? So the key for the scholarship, it basically is a combination of being a good folder and maybe a designer, but also using origami in your community. So all the scholarship winners have gone above and beyond to provide for their community around them in some sort of way, whether that's providing education to other kids or doing some kind of community service. Some people have even they teach origami at prisons just for helpful activity as people are, kind of rehabilitating to society, that kind of stuff. A whole lot of things that can lead to community efforts in addition to being a great folder. So yeah, shout out to Neil. Big accomplishment. And there's an example of that sailboat. I'm going to blow my nose again. I'll be right back. Oh man, live streaming is so hard when you have allergies. Sorry about that. Okay, that's the boat. Here is now it's time for my class. So I taught a class on Saturday. So this is Saturday. And my class stirred a little bit of drama. So let me tell you about this. Originally, this class was supposed to have 10 people. That's it, just 10 people. And you might be able to count here, right? Well, certainly there's more than 10. But let's, right, we have, this is 3. This is 4, so that's already 7. Here's another 4, that's 11. Another 4, 15. Another 3, 18. Okay, so 18 people in this class. And there's supposed to be 10, right? So I put 10 because that's how many people I thought I could teach this model to one-on-one within 3 hours. And even if it being in 3 hours, it was like a giga speed run. Now, this class had 60 signups. 60. So 10 spots, right? $60 signups. So basically, there were 50 people who were not happy that they didn't get into the class. Now, of those people, some of them were chill. Some were like, it's okay. I get it. The class probably would have been too hard for me anyways. That's another thing, right? If there's some beginners that are coming in, even though I rated this class as super complex, it's just the nature that beginners would want to try it. But even though they're going to hold a seat from someone else who could probably fold it. But in some of those cases, right, I gave special exceptions to people who really wanted to fold it and would be okay doing it on their own. So I told them, hey, if you bring your own paper, if you bring a 24 grid, if you're okay that I won't be able to help you as much as the other students, then you can come. And as you can see, we had 8 other people show up. And, you know, some of them were able to help even the other people. So it was a great help. It was still a crazy class to teach. You know, this is the most complex class I've ever taught in person at a convention. It's much different than, say, a tutorial. So, as you can see, like, most of the people here were able to fold. So we were able to make it through, like, within the 3 hours. Yeah, really crazy, really crazy. I understand I also have allergies. Yeah. But yeah, no, super fun. We didn't finish all the shaping because you could spend much longer than 3 hours, but we got all the folding done, and I was able to instruct basically how I was able to shape. Yeah, pretty sweet. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, some photos. Scholarship winners. Here is the Amazing Race event that we do at Origami USA Convention. To explain it, I think it's better if you just go to last year's video and watch. But it's basically just a lot of fun with origami themed challenges. So good when they can pitch in and help each other. Yeah, that's so true. Dude. When basically, like, you can help your neighbor during the class, help speed up the class. Yeah, there's our special guest Francesco Mancini. There's some kids participating, so a whole variety of people. Again, tons of fun. Really neat challenges. We have Matt and Dex and Michael. Yeah. And then here's Chris. He's folding. So I have a picture. This is Chris working on his death battle submission. So that is happening in, I think, another week, like a week and a half, and it's due. So after, you know, kind of folding and collapsing our collab, Chris had to then speed run his new design. So I won't say anything of what this is yet. You'll just have to see when Chris submits it. And of course, we're going to be reviewing this on YouTube at some point once they're posted, because we're going through every single round. King Julian, yo, what's up, dude? Thanks for tuning in. But yeah, there's Chris. There's Ojus. There's Dex, Michael, and Matt, who won the Amazing Race Challenge. And there's another team that also won. I think it was either tied or something like that. Here is Reza, who folded. He was into class, and he shaped his swordsman a lot more. So I had to get a picture. This actually looks really good. Nice shaping. If you want me to appreciate your origami a lot, you know, or have it stand out to me, you know, shape it nicely, and I'll be looking. Yeah, real nice, right? Look at this. We got just like the form of the model. Very nice. Got a dynamic pose. The intention of the model is there. We have a cool, you know, sword pose too. Well done. Really nicely. Really nicely done. And still not a lot of time, so it's good stuff. Bodo, will there be a convention vlog? Go Team Cabbage. Yes, very true. Yes, there will be a convention vlog. This is just kind of like the precursor, showing the photos, telling some stories before I spend, you know, 3 weeks editing the convention vlog together. So while it's fresh, got to share a little bit. But what's up, Bodo? And speaking of cabbage, This is $100 worth of cabbage paper. So right now he had it at $10 per sheet, and honestly, I think it should be worth more. This stuff's nice, man. It's crazy. We even did a demo where this is sized internally. You don't need to add MC or treat it before you use it, but you can, and when you do, the fibers are so naturally strong together and having been internally sized that you don't have to worry about the wetness of your treatment like damaging the paper. It's so thin you wouldn't imagine it'd be like that. But yeah, no, it's really strong. You can do a bunch of creases through it. You can reset the paper. Yeah, real crisp. Like, can you hear that? So yeah, like I said, I think this is the best origami paper being made right now because it's made by a super complex designer and folder for origami. Right, very rare. I'll have to dip again, but I'll be back if you're still here in 30 minutes. All right, Bodo. We shall see. I probably will. Yeah, we'll keep going through these photos. I don't know if we're going to go through all of them, but we'll just keep going. All right, here's another photo. Oh, need to switch back. There you go. Here's another photo of my exhibition. So I think this is the next day, and this is when I did the live stream or afterwards. And I just got a ton of bunch more photos. There's Sam, all fixed. Or maybe that was before it got destroyed. Can't remember. Head empty. Here's Chris's whole thing. So I think this is, yeah, a bunch more exhibition photos. I got beautiful flowers. Whole arrangement. Okay, this is Meenakshi, who sadly passed away this year. Pretty recently, actually. So, rest in peace. She big legendary part of the community, and really great to have like kind of some folds that her son was able to provide, and just like a memento to her part of the origami community. But yeah, Meenakshi was great. I think you might have seen photos of her exhibition last year, and I got to talk to her last year and at previous conventions. So yeah, it's we'll definitely miss Meenakshi. But yeah, great loss to the origami community for sure. More exhibition photos. Oh, this is cute. This is Ryan Dong. He does Pokemon, and he added this Ditto. That's so cute, right? More allergies. 1 second. Is that a proprietary formula or a resurrection paper formula? Boys, if you have some Vicks Vapor Rub or something minty like that, it'll help stop the bowel. Okay, I definitely, unfortunately, do not have that. That sounds like it would help. Thanks for the recommendation, though. Oh, here's Matt. More cabbage. Some more insects here. Yeah, again, these are great. These insects, this is one sheet of paper. Yeah, exhibition's beautiful, man. Like, it's one of my favorite parts of the convention, just because for me, showing each other origami is like such a rare thing to be able to do. So it's always great when you get to have a whole bunch all together and just see how people share their origami. Right? This is the expression of the art. Here's John Tucker. These stars, these are one sheet. crazy. To fold these, it's actually crazy. Steve, y'all know Steve. I featured him a lot in my videos. Penguin. This display is so cute, man. We got the penguins in their little iceberg islands. On the beach, we got crabs. We got a horned owl in the forest. Then we got a school fish just chilling on top. Really nicely done, Steve. Creative display. Here we have Damian featuring a lot of my models, actually. So we got the Ara. We got Samurais, different versions. You got a DPA. And then, of course, he also took my Sword and Shield class. Very nice. It always feels something special when I see other people fold my designs. And yeah, there were multiple people who folded my design. So here we have Nathan Shepelin, who folded my BMW, as well as a Samurai. And I think, yeah, and then Sword and Shieldman. And there's also a Bodo horse. Look at that. Here's Neil, our scholarship winner. Also folding some of my designs. We got the Sword and Shield up here. We have a Yuho Spearman. That's super cool. And then some original designs too. Okay, so now this is Sunday. And this is the class I taught with Matt. And yeah, when I said he's making paper, like he's actually making paper. So he brought pulp. Traveled all the way with the paper making materials. Now, this has already been pigmented, and a part of the process that he would normally do has already been done. So like 2 days worth of work done in advance, so that the last step, which is, you know, basically drawing out the sheets, can be done. And so Matt was demonstrating it live, as well as like giving a whole kind of lecture on the whole process, and then allowing people to try it themselves. So I think we actually recorded that entire class. So I think Matt has more footage, and then I have some videos from it. That's really fun, and also some other pictures. I gave a joint lecture about the use of methyl cellulose and how we can use it in shaping, what's the advantages of it, and then giving people the opportunity to treat paper for the first time. So yeah. But I was really surprised by the crispness, even on the super thin sheets. Yeah, it's amazing, man. Yeah, a lot of fun. Here's Ogis. So Ogis taught a dolphin, and it's really cool, you know. Actually reminded me, Bodo, of your dolphin a little bit, but the structure was a lot different. And this was Ogis's first class ever that he taught, and it was perfectly on time. Like this is like what you dream how a class would go. The students were behaved, they were following along. He was able to teach it completely, and like, yeah, we finished with the perfect amount of time, with just a little bit to get a good photo all together. Man, yeah. So for teaching his first class, the pacing, the preparedness, on par. You know, big shout out to Ogis. I'm going to be mentioning this in my vlog just because like it was just so amazing how well this class went. It's actually insane. You can see some familiar faces. We got James taking it. We got Chris, Matt, and like we all agreed that, hey, this class was really good, man. If paper is that hard to get, more people would start making their own. Well, yeah. So there's a lot of process. I think people don't realize that basically like what it takes to turn a tree into paper. There's a lot. So, yeah, I think the price that he sets it at is worth it. And yeah, even if people knew how to make it, I think we still wouldn't have that many people because it's a lot of work, man. And there is some equipment that helps like make better papers, and it's, you know, a small investment. Like you don't need to be spending that much money to make a paper setup, but you probably are going to have to spend some money to get a good paper making setup, especially for making multiple sheets. all at once. Mas Isa, hello, sir. Hey, thanks for joining the stream. Glad to have you watching. We're just going through some photos from the Origami USA convention. So yeah, here's Otis. This is his dolphin. Yeah, had to get a picture for that memorable class. It's very nice. Okay, here is oversized folding. So I think I don't have the picture of when we were working on the first part, but we will give a sneak preview at a time lapse that I took. All right, so this is a little sneak preview. You're right. I've made some paper, but very different kind. Yeah, and even that paper you made probably took hard work to make that. Okay, so the team was me, Pei, Matt, and Chris. A pretty stacked team, I must say, of very complex designers and folders. And we are currently folding a rhinoceros designed by John Montrol. Now, why did we choose to fold this? We actually didn't really choose. We had John Montrol ask personally. Yeah, that's right. The John Montrol, legendary John Montrol, ask us personally to fold his rhino. And this is a rhino from a recent publication I think he's making. I don't think it's a recent design, but it's he had the recent publication all ready for us to go so we could follow it. Man, if you have folded any of John's work, you just know it's a pretty elegant design, or elegant and concise. So yeah, it's like you get all the features, but it's nothing too extra. And that rhino, man, it was good. Like, we were able to complete it at such a nice speed that we decided to fold a second thing. And this is Pei's Christmas tree, which is pretty ridiculous. It's like an angled box pleating a little bit, where you like set different angles and then do some box pleat maneuvers to kind of get the details of the tree. But yeah, here's John Montrol and John Zinger checking on our process with the rhino over here. And I got a fun kind of interview with John Montrol after we folded the rhino, where he's kind of explaining and he's, you know, holding it himself. So like that whole experience was really cool. Yeah, what just mind blowing. Like, me as a younger folder would never have imagined that I'd be in that kind of position. So, oh, thanks for sharing the live, Kenji from TikTok, and Hifya. Yo, what's up, dude? On Twitch. Thanks for stopping by. But yeah, fun adventure in this, you know, giant origami folding challenge with John. And so here's just small clips of images that I wanted to take. And here is the completed models. We've got me over here. I look blurry for some reason. Maybe that's just the image. But we got John, Matt, Pei, and Chris. And this is the Christmas tree designed by Pei. It looks pretty cool, right? It's honestly, this design is pretty genius on how it all comes together. Like, the edges will eventually roll together to help close it and then form the trunk, the tree trunk. But I just love this rhinoceros. Like, we were able to do a little bit of shaping and just make it look good, but naturally on its own, it was already excellent. And one of the greatest things about this rhinoceros is it could actually stand up on its own. A lot of these gigantic origami models do not stand on their own. The paper is too heavy, it's floppy, it falls over. But it's like the structure of that rhino is like perfect. I think YouTube chat is not on or something. Maybe visual. I think my chat in general isn't on the stream, but I can read it. So I have like 3 tabs open, so I can read chat from Twitch, YouTube, and TikTok at the same time. I would have Instagram open, but Instagram just didn't want to start today. But yeah, I don't think it's popping up here. That or it's like behind something. Oh, there it is. Oh, the Twitch one's showing. The chat box. Oh, weird. Yeah. Streamlabs is a little glitchy recently. But yeah, no, that was a lot of fun. Oh, here we go. Yeah, look, isn't that cool? It just stands on its own. Like, ah, man. Yeah, really great Rhino. I kind of want to fold it again, just like with another piece of paper, just to have it, because it was really fun to fold too. Not too many steps. And then here's Pay and Chris with the tree. So you can kind of see the tree, the trunk on the bottom. Now, again, large paper is a little bit floppy towards the bottom, but the overall tree structure was really cool. And once again, Rhino standing up. I was just so impressed, man, with this Rhino. And then here, I think this is after the official like event was done. There's some leftover paper, so this was, I guess this was made by Casey, Nathan, and I think this guy's name is David. And they made Pei squid design. So Pei taught this squid at an earlier class. Unfortunately, it was at the same time as one of my classes, so I couldn't take this class, but the squid itself looks really cool. And then they challenged themselves to do it from giant paper. Yeah, no, that's really cool. I had to get a photo of that. Here is Chris's class, which you can see has a lot of people in it. And Chris does this amazing live design demo where he allows the class to choose a subject basically, or submit topics that he will live design from. And it's neat because he gets to basically give an introduction of how to design with basic box pleat, explanations, and also what you would generally hear if you were to just peek into origami design secrets, but then demystify it a little bit into a very practical lesson where it's so practical that he can design something live all within like an hour and a half. So, circle packing, basics, which we don't really use in box pleating. It's just like the theory is there, so we understand it, but no need to circle pack with box pleating. And then on to design. So I think that was it. I do have photos later, I think, of Chris's finished thing, which I think is coming soon. So I quickly stopped by Pei's class just to take some photos. This was a hippocampus, and here Chris designed a Komodo dragon live, and it's a Komodo dragon with like some armor, some texture, and even a tongue. That's fun, right? Giant squid wild. Yes. And then after that, I taught my third class on Monday. So I taught one class every single day. This is kind of more classes than I have done previously, but it was well worth it. And there was a lot of people in this class too, so really fun. I kind of like being able to teach this kind of a crowd because I can just walk around and see how people are folding. It's like overall good vibe. This class was way more chill than my sword and shield one, so I could actually like teach in this class, and I think we had 100% success rate here. This one is this guy, which is really cute. It's like the simple version of the 18 grid plain face. Works really good with foil, as you can see. Yeah, fun model to teach. So even people who weren't really experienced in box plating could still do this just from the way I was able to teach it, the sequence I kind of found. But yeah, really enjoyable class. And a lot of people. And then now we're coming towards the tail end of the convention. And this is Casey working on the Flying Kabutomoshi by Shugi Kato. Yo, thanks for subscribing. F Arts. Thanks for subscribing. But yeah, Casey, absolute mad lad, trying to fold this. Like, just pre-creasing this giant paper sounds like a nightmare. And Casey made it. Casey made it like almost all the way through the whole collapse, almost through the whole model. So a lot of these photos I think are just like progress photos of Casey working on it. Like, dude, most people can't fold this with a regular paper, and Casey's folding it with a gigantic craft paper that's super thick. Crazy, right? And then here is Guillermo, who folded Buddha by Hojo Takashi, I think. A giant one, and it's shaped really nicely, this one. So really nicely shaped hands, good face details. Overall, the form was amazing. Guillermo, I don't know if you're still here, but like, did it survive the subway? Were you able to bring it home? I really hope so, because yeah, that really awesome. Yeah, fantastic. And that is the end. That is the end. So what do y'all think? That's the images I got from the convention. I think overall, huge success. It was so much fun. So besides those photos, like, I also have some from my phone that I didn't get to show. And one of the fun things which I made sure to document more this year was all the fun meals that we got together. Because especially at this convention where it's in New York, a big part of socializing happens during meals. So a good group of us would try to get lunch every day and dinner. And there's some real good food around the area. Let's see if I can find a photo. There's even a surprise, like, Japanese festival that happened. So like outside our hotel, all of New York was attending. Like, that's crazy, right? But there's some A5 Wagyu. Good stuff. So we saw that during one of our lunches. Yeah, I had to film it, man. This is crazy. It smelled so good. And this literally right outside our hotel. What a coincidence. Yeah, here is one of the lunches we got. I think this is a lunch or dinner. So we got a whole fun squad all out there. Great time. Great food. Yeah, I'm like midway through mine. I think this was like a fried fish curry with rice and an egg. Ooh, good stuff. Yeah, a lot of fun. The place has a lot of options, right? A lot of options for food. So, oh yeah, you were able to make it? Sweet. So that giant fold gets to exist. But yeah, so you'll see a lot of that in the vlog. I don't have a set plan for how I want to structure the vlog. Like in the past, I kind of came into the convention with a plan on what either story or format I wanted to share. This time, I think I just got a bunch of different fun bits of the convention, and I'm gonna piece them together like, yeah, again, small bits of what happened. And I think with that, it won't be like too random. I'll still try to have some story just so it's fun to watch. But I just really wanted to capture, what experiences someone might, get at an origami convention like this. And especially why I like these conventions so much. It's fried and is standing nice and plump in my room. The loaded space is genius, holds everything together. Oh, hey, another great design that works really well for large folding. So yeah, Takashi Hojo is also a genius, right? So that's super cool. All right. Well, that is the end of what I had to share. And we're pushing an hour and a half so far on our stream. I think we can go a little bit longer. So with that wrapped up, I'm going to move on to folding a little bit. And then if anyone has questions, it can kind of be kind of chill. But I'll try to do some Q&A. Once again, I'm going to blow my nose from these allergies, and we'll be right back. Gonna head to sleep again. Good seeing you at the convention. Hey, good stuff, Dex. Thanks for tuning into the stream. Yeah, get some good rest, man. It was great seeing you as well. Okay, so I've done most of the claps here. I need to do the fingers. So let's start on those, and also we're gonna see if they work. So the structure going on here is getting a little bit crazy. It's not the best way to do this, but I did some layer distribution here. Before, all these layers were like in this quadrant, and it made the connection unit from the hand to the sword very thick. So we've hopefully reduced that a little bit, but let's see how these fingers go. Actually, before I do the fingers, I might finish up with the sword. So I'm actually going to want to do some ridge squashing along here, just so that I think we won't have to open this later when all the other fingers are kind of locked in together, which I imagine is going to happen with that structure I chose to design with. So let's just do some quick spreads. And, okay, I might pre-crease this one a little bit. Let me get a view that's a little bit better for y'all. Is this better? Yeah, this is better. Okay. So these ridge squashes I've done a lot. Normally I don't pre-crease it, but this double tissue is actually a little bit too crispy that if I do my normal method, it's actually not following the path I want. So I'm going to at least have a little bit of guidance for the first one, and then the next ones I probably don't, but since this one is at the corner, I think it's important to start it strong and have a nice corner to it. What am I making? So I'm making a long sword. It's min. So it's very similar to my sword and shield, but this one has a way longer sword, and it's going to be posed differently. So the pose is going to be something like the sword is like over the shield, and then he's kind of in an action stance. The paper ASMR is great. Sweet. Yeah, this is more chill part of the stream, right? So I hope the paper noise is very satisfying. This is the sound of folding, right? Yeah, this double tissue is made by a friend, and I purchased it from them. It's pretty good double tissue. It's a lot better than the ones I make, at least. So yeah, that crispiness, what it sounds like, it feels like in real life. It's pretty nice. So yeah, no, I'm definitely fortunate to be in a position where I can just buy double tissue from other people, because it's better than if I made my own. Yo, Novolan, 15 months, tier 1 sub on Twitch. Thank you, man. Thanks. This is your 15-month anniversary. That's a long time. Thank you so much, man. Great to see you. Good stuff. It's great having you in the server. And then if you missed it earlier, there's new benefits to Twitch subs and YouTube members. So there's a new text channel. I'm going to change it to a post channel, but basically you will get to submit a post each month that I'll personally review, and it can be something for constructive criticism or just to share with the stream, or if you just want my thoughts on it or what can make it better. That'll be an awesome time. I can either do some coaching, some critiques, or just enjoy your fold. So I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna still work on the format a little bit, but hey, man. Thanks for the 15 months for sure. And then I hope I can bring this and add some value back to you that will make it fun for the stream too. How many grids? This is 28. So not that big. All right, here we have our ridge squash stretch, which did not work naturally. So I'm gonna have to open up the paper a little bit to get this crease. Just like this. And on the other side too, it also got stuck. Yeah, sometimes when the paper is like super crisp, it makes it nice for folding, but for doing maneuvers like that, it won't really follow along like some other papers will. Okay. And then I was thinking it'd be great if I could extend this flap once more so that we can use it as a sort of handguard. So let's see if I can, I think I can pull this out to here and then like shove it back a little bit so that it'll be in the right spot. We're gonna see, but yeah, no, this is a fun sequence. Even if I have to do a little bit extra creasing through stuff, it eventually all resolves, and it feels really nice to squash down. Kane says, "Hi boys, what are you making?" Hey, thank you for joining the stream. Rhiannon, like the paper noise. Hey, I'm glad. It is kind of a nice paper ASMR. I'm working on a long swordsman. So here is the helmet. This is going to be a sword. This is his other hand. We got some armor pieces, and we're just kind of still shaping it out a little bit and still floating out some of the structures. So you're catching it some of the earlier stages of this design. I think it should turn out to be pretty cool. Okay, so now that we have that, I kind of want to see if I can push this flap inwards a little bit. That way we can use it in a more ideal position. I don't exactly know where the creases are supposed to be. I can kind of guess where it wants to stretch. Oh, yo, what's up, Bodo? So we finished going over the photos from the convention, and now I'm just working on a new design. And then we're gonna end off the stream just working on this a little bit and doing some Q&A. So whether it's a question about the convention experience or like anything else, anyone's kind of feel free to ask whatever, as long as it's of course origami related. I don't exactly know if this is gonna want to work, but we can try to make it work. Okay, so these won't stretch as much as the other one. I think it's gonna layer this way. Same thing here. All right. Sick. Nathan. Yo, what's up, man? Hope you've been doing well. Is that Nathan Cabrera? Tricking Nathan? Speaking of tricking, if that is, which I don't know if it is, but Rose City Gathering is happening right now. So that's why the stream is so late, is because I just got back from that. First day went awesome. We had some battles. We had a 7 to smoke. Super entertaining. And I threw down a few good rounds. Kane, I've been a huge fan since I saw your channel. Stuff you make blows my mind. Hey, thanks, Kane. Yo, man, hey, that means a lot, man. Thanks for tuning in for these past years. It's good stuff. I'm glad you discovered my channel and get to catch a live stream. It's good stuff. Oh, dope. How's the gathering? Yeah, it's really good. We got seminars and classes tomorrow, and then I'm actually taking a private lesson from Aspen Edelin. I'm gonna have him help me correct my double cork so I can have it more consistently. And after that, they're doing some seminars, and then Sunday we're going to the lake for a lake trip. So not as much tricking, but just got to hang out with trickers at a lake. And that should be a lot of fun. But a question about the convention. How many times did you eat at Urban Hawker? We ate there a lot, Bodo. See, so first day, it was lunch and dinner, I think. No, lunch was Shake Shack. Dinner was Urban Hawker. I had dinner at Urban Hawker the day before, though. So, and then we had like 2 more lunches there. So we probably went like 4 or 5 times. Lake sounds nice, yeah. She's sure about to learn how to standing tub back from Aspen Tree. Yeah, exactly, man. I gotta get just all that tech out of him. So it's gonna be pretty fun. Fun to learn for sure. Okay, so I don't exactly know what structure I want to go with here. I know I want to thin this area down, so I'm either gonna fold it inside, or yeah, something like this, and I wonder if I can use this thing as a way to terminate some of this angle. This area I can probably just do something like this for now. Just a small fold here. And over here, is this able to squash at all? Yeah, because this area I want to try to make it thin, because the reference I'm kind of aiming for uses a thinner blade, almost like a katana. I think I can just swivel this around. I'm gonna head out. Good luck with origami. Thanks, man. Hope you have a great weekend. Thanks for stopping by. Alright, so I think this will work. I might have to rotate the sword all the way around and then like mount and fold it the other way. But let me show the reference that I'm kind of looking at. Hopefully we can trick or hang out in someone. True, man. Hey, I went to the BBB. That was like my first East Coast gathering, but I'll try to make it out to other East Coast ones or ones that are closer to East Coast. That'll be sick. So, because I designed like a mech type thing recently, my current inspiration is from these people who make like custom Gundams. And yeah, this is kind of the vibe I'm going for. My sword isn't this big. I want to try to do this pose, or at least something close to it, just because I think it's really cool. Oversized weapons are always a little bit weird at times, but we're gonna see if we can make this one work. At least a little bit. But yeah, that's kind of the goal for now. Guillermo's got a question. In trying to immortalize the giant Buddha as well as shaping detail, I'm planning to coat it with Blick Shiny Finish. Should I first apply to coat the whole thing and then PVA? So what I would do is I would start at the base. So I would probably make the base have a lot of PVA, because the base is what's going to set the foundation for when you apply a finish or a clear coat. afterwards. So, you know, that clear coat is going to get heavier and heavier. So you want the base first. So I would do PVA, strengthen, let it dry, have the base strengthened. You don't have to go overkill to PVA yet, but just at least a little bit. And then use your finishing coat. And if you're worried about the finishing coat soaking into the porous paper, do that in layers. So maybe do three layers. The first one really shallow, really light, and then the second and third ones get a little bit heavier as you apply more. And again, start with the base first, then go up. And I think you'll have a higher chance of success with that. I once did like a marine varnish on stuff. And yeah, it's much better to do multiple coats than one thick coat, because that one thick coat can very easily mess up. I wonder if I can just pull this whole thing through like this. Yeah. So if you want to avoid it like soaking through, you got to be careful with like how much you put at once until you have some that's dried. Satoshi's designs are quite complex. Origami, Kane. Yeah. Satoshi's are complex. That is true. I think a lot of complex folders potentially got started from looking at Satoshi's models or even folding some of them. It's definitely an inspiration for many folders, including me. I don't know if you see my Ryujin back there, or maybe you can't, but I'm definitely a fan of Satoshi. Nice, yeah. Not like professional, but quite complex for my level. Nice, yeah. Yeah, you know, I think you don't have to do like professional level origami. It's the best origami is the ones that you have fun with. You know what I mean? So as long as you're having fun, you're doing it correctly. And that's always what I encourage. Even with myself, if I am working on something that's very complex, I make sure it's fun for me. Because I don't want to do anything that's pointless. It's just not a healthy way for me to treat origami, is if I'm doing it for any reason besides having fun or, you know, something like that. So even if it's something that could arguably be a little bit less fun, I always just try to make it fun first, just to balance it out. Okay, so the sword area is getting a little bit more tricky. I'm going to leave it there for now, and I think I can collapse the rest of the fingers before we move on. And that requires unfolding this a little bit as a classic. I find it impossible to follow origami diagrams in books. How do you get good at following diagrams from complex books? Okay, so that's a good question. I think for one, you just got to fold a lot more diagrams and not necessarily harder diagrams. So I think the biggest thing that clicked in my brain was the diagram steps aren't hard. Very, very few diagram steps are hard. In general, very few are hard. Most of them are just difficult to understand at first. So a lot of times what might seem hard is more because you don't understand what's going on yet. And then once you understand what's happening, it's pretty easy. You know, it really just boils down to it's a sink fold, it's a swivel fold, it's a reverse fold, or it's some sort of collapse, you know. Normally things aren't actually that crazy, even if they look crazy in the diagrams. And the way to get more awareness of that is yeah, like I said, one, fold more diagrams, because you might fold a simpler design that has the harder step. And as you practice that from the simple area, it gets easier and easier, especially as you're able to complete it. So then when you go back to that harder model and you come back to that step, now you know how to do it, or know what one of that should look like when it's done, and it won't be hard anymore. That makes sense. You know, there's some exceptions, especially in Shuki Kato's models with tilted grid, because that's just tilted grid is hard to have sequences for. That makes sense. But besides that, like Satoshi's models are pretty well diagrammed, where if you're able to understand all the steps, they're not very hard. And yeah, it kind of carries from there. The other way would be if you understand crease patterns really well, then if this step doesn't make sense, you can kind of just look at the crease pattern and know what it's supposed to be. So like maybe there's a fold that you're supposed to hold the layer in place while you collapse everything else together. And it may look crazy in the diagram, but then if you look at the crease pattern, it'll make sense at where you're supposed to hold. Yeah, currently I'm making the frog from Robert Lang's Design Secrets, and it's quite hard. And that one's difficult to shape. But yeah, so hopefully that kind of makes sense. You know, maybe it's not necessarily hard, it's just harder, or it's just difficult to understand. But one of my challenges for myself was to be able to read any diagram step and be okay with it. So that was like basically building enough awareness to know that I could fold from any diagram step, like to kind of have that sort of confidence in myself that I'd seen and practiced enough to be able to do that. And yeah, no, it's been great being able to do that. It's a very nice skill. So even if I'm not folding as much diagrams anymore, it's just a fundamental for origami. And then yeah, eventually nothing will be hard anymore, and then you can fold whatever you like. That's a fun ability when you can get to the point that almost nothing is hard. My TIY says hello. Thanks for joining the stream. We're doing a little bit of folding now. So before we reviewed my experience at the Origami USA convention, but now I'm working on a little bit of a new design just to kind of round off the hour. And yeah, just doing some Q&A. Same, I just used 50 centimeter craft. Yep, that totally works. I make double and triple tissue. Hey, that's awesome. If you're making your own paper, that's a skill to learn of itself. So you're already putting yourself in a better position to learn more complex folds. Which paper are you using? Yeah, this is double tissue. I bought it from a friend. That was my phone falling. Let's put that in a safer spot. Now, if you go to my website, I have a blog about all sorts of papers. So let me go to this and then look for resources and paper resources. And yeah, it's like a lot of great knowledge of my experience with the paper and links to buy it. But you don't really have to buy paper that's, you know, anything crazy. Just kind of use what you have at first and get good with it. And then as you get better, then you'll be able to use the better papers more effectively. So that's my recommendation. Okay. Or the Kami Kamiya challenge. Oh yeah. Yeah, the Kami Kamiya challenge was definitely a test of if I could use the materials I had effectively. Okay, I'm going to undo the sword a little bit, so just to make it a little bit less weird over here, because I forgot I'm going to have to do some sync folds with this hand structure. This is a hand collapse I'm not fully used to. I have a variant of it similarly on the far side, but this one in particular is a little bit different than those. Let's see if I can just get this nice first. And hopefully we can just collapse everything nicely together. I think I can just leave this one down for now. Okay, we've got that, we've got that. Put this down. This is almost together. Like that, and that should let it close. I don't know if I need to put that one in that direction. And then here we have the crazy sword stuff going on. All right. Okay, we can hold it like this, and then now everything's out of the way. So it's looking a little crazy. But yeah, let's get these sink folds done, and then we can shape the fingers out. I think this one is just an open sink. And then we have some other ones where we have to fold bisectors and then open sink. Thanks. I cut it in square, turns into rhombus-like shape. Every time I do it, gets smaller and smaller. Try to lighten edges up. You should look at my paper guide. I show how to cut papers, especially large papers, and some people on there also show it. And even if there's some small issues, as long as you have good angles in the corners, you should be okay. Even if it's not perfectly square. So I recommend checking out that technique if it works for you. Because yeah, if you're having to trim multiple times, that's not good. You don't want to be wasting any of your paper just from, missing some precision in cutting it into a square. That's just very sad. Alright, so a few more sink folds. Is it just me, or is the finger structure similar to the two-headed dragon's hind claw legs? So this one is vertically stacked instead of horizontally stacked. The other side hands are more closely to the two-headed dragon's hind legs, and it is still kind of similar to what I'm doing here, but it works a little bit better just from the nature of how it's stacked. But you're not wrong. It is kind of close, and the other one is even closer. And yeah, you can kind of see the process that these fingers can add a lot of complexity and time to the fold just to have some fingers. This model didn't have to have fingers. How do you get better at collapse models? Because I'm struggling with the collapse a bit. Oh, hey, that's another video I have. Watch my crease pattern class. I teach how to, start thinking about collapse structures. And there's often a better way to approach a model than just forcing it all at once. Forcing it all at once certainly does work in some cases, but it can make it very hard in others. So even as I did these fingers, right, I had a small sequence where I didn't open up the entire model. I kind of went one side at a time, treating it as reverse folds when I could, just by angling the flaps at different intervals for what I'm working on. Okay. So how many more sink folds we got? We got this flap, which I'm going to see if I can fold down. Okay, that worked. I made have empty ones, but it didn't look as good as yours. Yeah, so Um, it's going to be hard to make one that looks like mine because I've spent, hundreds of hours practicing and shaping that has built up into why I'm able to make that model look the way it does. So yeah, it's okay if it doesn't look exactly how I made it. I don't think anyone can make it exactly how I made it because I'm the one that made it in a lot of my circumstances, and how I've been able to practice and study origami will affect how it looks in the end. And that's why I also say that's a very hard model, a lot harder than people realize it is, because the collapse doesn't look too bad, but the shaping will be pretty rough. A lot involved, at least. Okay, so these fingers are almost done. I think I've just got this sink fold here, which kind of is in the middle of a bunch of layers, so we're gonna hope it just enough gets there. I think I can just do this in half. What paper do you recommend after you're confident with tissue? I would try a mulberry paper or any sort of handmade paper that has fibers. So an unryu, again, a mulberry, anything like that. And it'll be a little bit more advanced than double tissue when it comes to shaping. You'll be able to do a little bit more, and it might be a little bit harder at first, but you get that flexibility of the paper fibers being a little bit stronger and less machined than tissue. Even though tissue can be pretty strong as double tissue, because a handmade paper it acts a lot differently when you actually shape it. But you need to be good enough already to notice and be able to shape it differently. So yeah, that's a great question that after you're comfortable with tissue, then you can move on to another type of paper, another category. But it doesn't have to be expensive. Like the mulberry paper in general is pretty cheap around America. I don't know if that's the same around the world, but I imagine mulberry paper is not very rare because there's mulberry trees everywhere. So, yeah. Alrighty. Okay, and it is the top of the hour, so I'm getting pretty tired exponentially fast. So I think that might be a wrap for today. So we kind of finished collapsing the fingers. We have the start of the sword and how that's looking, and the pommel. And we'll resolve something around here to make it look cool or just work nicely. But yeah, all right. I think, yep, that brings us 2 hours and 5 minutes. Next week, I think the stream is going to be a little bit earlier, so I'm not so tired. But yeah, it's been a crazy week. I do have content planned. If you haven't seen the latest by me and Brandon, I recommend that you check that out on YouTube or Instagram. Yeah, it's going, pretty well around Instagram, and I think it's really entertaining. It's one of the most fun collabs ever. But yeah, once again, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me on Instagram or whatever. And if you're able to, drop a YouTube membership and you get access to the special Discord where I will be reviewing your folds at the end of each month. A lot of fun stuff to share. I've got like 2 editings in the editing pipeline right now. One is being edited, not by me, by a third party. So once that's done, I'll be able to post it. And then I have the convention vlog that I'll be working on. And hopefully it won't take too long, and that we'll get to see me and Chris's collab finished up. I at least am really excited about my portion and seeing what Chris does in his portion. So that should be super, super cool. And then, yeah, we'll see. 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 We' man, yeah, it's a lot of exciting stuff. And then I have at least 1 or 2 collabs running at the moment. So one folding project besides this, and then another one that's kind of up in the air in negotiations right now. But yeah, hopefully that interests you. Thank you everyone for watching. It's always fun folding live, and I'll see you in the next video.